Fox News confirming today that Steve Bannon was subpoenaed last week by Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller and then issued immediate subpoenas by the House Intelligence Committee today. Mr. Bannon today is on Capitol Hill answering questions about possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. When claiming the White House told him not to answer questions about the transition, the lawmakers quickly issued those subpoenas to compel him to answer. American Majority CEO Ned Ryun joins me now. And Ned, I know you've been talking to a lot of sources who are close to Mr. Bannon and close to people in that room. What happened?
Well, there are a couple things. Of course, Trish, he was being brought into, people were seeking clarification on some of these transition emails. But from a close associate of Bannon's, I guess it got pretty heated inside the House Intelligence Committee, and word is that Bannon was vociferously defending the president. And I actually just texted Bannon a few minutes ago and said, you know, what can I say on TV? He said, you let people know that as long as I've known you, I have been a diehard Trump supporter and fan. And I think that's clear that when it comes down to Trump and Bannon, he is a huge fan of Trump's. He's a huge defender of him.
Can we quote him on that?
You can
we'll put up a lower right now.
You can quote him on that.
Steve Bannon has just said he has always been a diehard
supporter of Trump's. And I think where the friction has come has been with the children. That all to say, I have been watching Twitter, watching the left, about, you know, him going in front of the grand jury, being subpoenaed, all that stuff. They think that somehow Bannon is going to, you know, turn on the president. First of all, get used to disappointment. That's never happening because guess what? Bannon has been convinced since the beginning. There is no collusion. It is a hoax. It is a fairy tale. And I've heard him speak multiple times on this, Trish. In November, I heard him speak down in Florida, and he said this whole Trump-Russia collusion is a fairy tale. The Trump campaign had trouble colluding with the RNC on its field program. So to suggest that there was somehow sophistication enough to collude, he's like, it's a total joke and absurd.
Well, I appreciate the humor. Did he get any questions? Did he tell you whether or not he got any questions that would circle back to the concerns over this dossier? Because, you know, Representative DeSantis just told me the other day he wants to see everything be disclosed and wants everything to come forward about that dossier, because his concern, as many people are worried about, is that our FBI may have used that propaganda put out by a political machine on the other side to find and secure FISA warrants to monitor the other campaign, to monitor the Trump campaign, and that's pretty scary stuff.
Well, first of all, I didn't ask Bannon on that front, but I'm here to tell you, Trish, they absolutely did that, and all you have to do is look at CNN.com from April of 2017, in which CNN reported the FBI used a dossier to secure justification to secretly spy on Trump associates. And unless there's some other dossier out there, the FBI used the Steele dossier to secure a FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page.
Well, what about all this talk about Papadopoulos and how it was just, you know, some drink at a bar with Papadopoulos that caused all this concern from the FBI.
But the reason that they're trying to change, the media and others are trying to change the story, is because what if a partisan piece of propaganda filled with Russian misinformation was used to secure a FISA warrant to spy on an American citizen? What if the DOJ and the FBI were corrupted at the highest levels? Now I have questions about the Department of State. I've always had questions about the CIA and how they interacted with the dossier. And, Trish, I've said this. I said this in a piece for Fox News Opinion last week. What if the Mueller investigation, what if the entire Trump-Russia investigation was based off this dossier, therefore spurring the Mueller investigation, which is all based off a dossier, calls into question the entire legitimacy of the Mueller investigation? And I think, according to everything that I've seen and read, this partisan piece of propaganda filled with Russian misinformation, I think we keep pulling the threads, it's going to lead to very interesting places.
And not good ones. I mean, effectively, Ned, by the way, if Putin's objective was to mess with us and undermine our government, he succeeded.
Well, I wrote a piece this summer, Trish, for the Federalist, in which I said, you know what, for all intents and purposes, Putin really doesn't care who's in the White House as long as America is destabilized and fighting itself to stay out of the way of his imperialistic designs. And if that was his whole purpose in doing this, he has succeeded. And you know the thing that's shameful in all of this?
What?
If the dossier is misinformation, which I do believe it is, the mainstream media has been a willing accomplice of spreading this misinformation and putting it into the American bloodstream.
Yeah, well, BuzzFeed never should have published it, and CNN never should have run with it. I hear you.
There is going to be some explaining. The only thing that I think will get us to really trusting some of these institutions again, the DOJ and the FBI, declassifying and extreme transparency.
Yeah, well, this is what DeSantis is calling for sure. We need that transparency. We need declassification. And we've got a lot of questions that need to be answered, because I'll tell you, if you're right, and Ned, you know, I hope you're not. I really do. I hope you're not, for the sake of the country. But if you're right, it tells you we got some really big problems.
I think we have very big problems.
Ned Ryun, thank you so much. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Trish.